You're doing 130 miles per hour into turn 3. You hit the brake pedal, and it's not soft, it's not spongy, it's just gone. Nothing under your foot. You've got two choices: lift, or hope the wall is further away than it looks. Now imagine doing that for 350 laps, race after race, corner after corner, with no way to know if the next brake application will actually work. That's not a hypothetical. That's exactly what Denny Hamlin lived through at Iowa. And the worst part isn't the brakes. The worst part is what happened when he begged NASCAR to fix the problem mid-race, and they said no. Before we get into the fight itself, here's how the weekend actually started, and it did not look like a disaster in the making at first glance. Hamlin walked into the race weekend as the points leader, coming off red-hot form, the kind of stretch that makes a driver look untouchable heading into a new track. Then the cracks started showing almost immediately. He qualified 29th, nowhere close to where a championship leader is supposed to start a race weekend. On paper, that qualifying result already looked like trouble. In hindsight, it turned out to be the smallest problem of the entire day. That was the good part of his day. If you're new here, welcome to NASCAR Voltage, and we're closing in on 500 subscribers on this channel, which is a real milestone for a channel built entirely around breaking down moments like this one. If breakdowns like this are the kind of content you want more of on your feed, take a second right now to hit subscribe, drop a like on this video, and leave a comment telling us exactly what you think about this fight between Hamlin and NASCAR. Your support genuinely is what keeps a channel like this growing week to week, so it matters more than most viewers realize. Every subscriber, every like, and every comment helps this video reach more people who care about the sport the way you do. Now, back to Iowa, because it only gets messier from here. The penalties started stacking up one after another before the green flag even dropped, and each one made the grid look worse for the sport's biggest names. Brad Keselowski spun during qualifying and was sent to the rear of the field as a result. Chase Elliott slammed the wall in practice, which forced him to qualify 32nd, and he was also sent to the back alongside Keselowski. Then came the gut punch for Hamlin specifically. His team touched the car's cooling ducts before the race. NASCAR officials ruled it an unapproved adjustment under the rulebook, and the points leader was ordered to start at the rear of the field alongside the other two penalized drivers. Dustin Long confirmed the situation directly through his reporting. He wrote on X, "NASCAR confirms Denny Hamlin also going to the rear for unapproved adjustments, joining Brad Keselowski and Chase Elliott at the back of the field for the green." Read that again. 3 different cars, 3 different reasons, and all 3 ended up in the same place before the race even began. This wasn't a driver having one bad day at the track. This was the championship leader getting buried at the back of the field before a single green flag lap had even been run. But here's where the story stops being about bad luck at one team and turns into something much bigger across the entire garage. The brake trouble wasn't a one-team fluke, and it wasn't limited to Hamlin's car alone. It was a problem across multiple Toyota teams heading into that race weekend. Hamlin's crew chief, Chris Gale, spotted inconsistent brake pressure during practice, the kind of issue that can end a race before it even truly gets going. Chase Briscoe's crew chief, James Small, arrived at the exact same conclusion independently. Riley Herbst's team hit the identical wall as well, which meant this wasn't isolated to one crew misreading data. 3 separate teams, 3 separate crew chiefs, all flagging the same fundamental problem before the race had even started. Small didn't sugarcoat the condition of his rotors when describing what his team was working with. He called them destroyed, a blunt word choice from a crew chief who doesn't typically speak in dramatic terms. A veteran NASCAR mechanic later explained exactly why teams were stuck in this position with no easy way out. Brake pads are one of the only components on the next-gen car that teams are actually allowed to choose themselves under the current rulebook, but changing them mid-weekend costs valuable track time, and at a short track like Iowa, those laps are laps a team simply cannot get back before the race. This is where the real argument begins, and it's worth slowing down for, because this is the part of the story that actually matters more than any single penalty. Hamlin says this was a safety issue, plain and simple, something that put drivers at risk on track. NASCAR says the rule exists to stop teams from gaming the inspection process, and that once you open that door for one team, you can't close it for the other 35. Both sides believe they're right, and neither one is backing down from their position. Hamlin's side of it starts with an offer he says he made to NASCAR directly during the race weekend, an offer he framed as more than fair given the circumstances. He wanted the chance to fix the brakes properly, and he told NASCAR he'd accept a brutal penalty in exchange for that chance. In his own words, "I'll start on pit lane this week. I'll start last next week, just give some sort of avenue out if a mistake is made." That's not a driver asking for a free pass. That's a driver offering to take a harsher punishment than the one already on the table, just for the ability to fix a problem he considered dangerous. NASCAR turned him down anyway. According to Hamlin, officials told him they'd invent a penalty even worse than the one he was offering if he changed the pads under green flag conditions during the race. His response captured the frustration perfectly, delivered deadpan and furious at the same time. "I guess I just need to go slower then." Now here's NASCAR's side of it, and it's not as simple as officials just being stubborn for the sake of it. NASCAR VP of Racing Communications Mike Ford asked his own officials a pointed hypothetical during the Monday debrief following the race. On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly would the garage have reacted if Hamlin's team had been allowed to swap brake pads before the race started? One official answered 10. The chief inspector went a step further and answered 11, out of a scale that technically only went up to 10. The subtext becomes clear once you sit with those numbers for a moment. NASCAR wasn't just protecting a rule written on paper somewhere in a rulebook. Officials were protecting the other 35 teams in the garage from a scenario where one driver receives a race morning exception that every other team in the field would then demand for themselves the very next weekend. And this is the detail that keeps this from becoming a simple villain versus victim story, the kind that's easy to package but doesn't reflect what actually happened. Hamlin himself admitted, in his own comments, that he understands NASCAR's logic here even while disagreeing with the outcome. The sanctioning body doesn't want 36 teams running one brake pad configuration in qualifying and then quietly swapping to a completely different one for the race itself. That's a loophole that could reshape how every team approaches inspection. He wasn't asking for the rule to disappear entirely for everyone. He was asking specifically for a safety exception in his own case, given what his team had already identified as a mechanical problem. NASCAR didn't give him one. Then comes the quote that this entire story is really built around, the one that shows exactly what that Sunday cost him mentally before he even turned a wheel in anger. Speaking to Dustin Long after the race, Hamlin said, "This is the worst mindset I've had going into a race that I can remember. I've never felt beat before I started ever, and I knew I was done." Think about that for a second. This is a driver with multiple championship contentions under his belt, someone who has raced at the front of this sport for years and has been through pressure situations most drivers never face. And here he was, telling a reporter directly that he knew he was beaten before the race even began. That's not a driver complaining about a penalty after the fact. That's a driver describing, in real time, what it feels like to strap into a car he doesn't fully trust to stop when he needs it to. Now here's the twist nobody saw coming, and it flips the entire narrative of the weekend on its head. Despite everything, the rear off-field start, the brake issues affecting multiple Toyota teams, the mindset Hamlin himself described as the worst he'd ever had heading into a race, he didn't just survive Iowa. He actually grew his points lead over the course of the event. It went from 84 points up to 103, a significant jump given how the day started. But the name chasing him in second place changed as a result of the race. It's no longer Tyler Reddick sitting in that position. It's race winner Ty Gibbs, who now sits right behind Hamlin in the championship standings. We're not getting into what happened to Reddick in this particular video, that's a separate story worth covering on its own, but keep that thread in mind because it connects directly to where this championship battle goes next. So where does this actually leave things between Hamlin and NASCAR heading into the next race weekend? NASCAR has a rule that's kept every team honest for years, stopping teams from gaming the inspection process by swapping components in the middle of a race weekend once qualifying is already locked in. Hamlin says that same rule almost put him into a wall with absolutely no way to stop the car when it mattered most. Both of those things are true at the same time, and that's exactly what makes this fight so difficult to resolve cleanly. So who actually blinks first here? Is it the sanctioning body that has to protect 35 other teams from a loophole that could reshape how every garage approaches brake strategy going forward? Or is it the points leader who says, in his own words, that he'd rather take a harsher penalty than ever sit in a car with brakes he doesn't trust again? Drop a comment below and tell us which side of the brake pad argument you actually land on after hearing both perspectives laid out. Are you with NASCAR on protecting the integrity of the inspection process for the entire garage, or are you with Hamlin on this being a safety issue that should have come before any rulebook consideration? While you're down there typing that comment, go ahead and hit that like button, and share this video with another NASCAR fan who needs to see exactly how this argument played out. And if you're not subscribed to NASCAR Voltage yet, now's the time to do it, because we're closing in on that 500 subscriber mark, and every single one of you watching right now helps us get there faster. If you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this one, you'll like what's coming next.